To subscribe to more videos, please press the button subscribe right down there, and you can watch all of my Mishnah Brewer classes. Right now we're in the middle of Siman 4, or Siman Daled, chapter 4, part 2. A person must behave modestly in the bathroom. Very appropriate. Lo yigala es etzmo ad sheyeshev, he should not expose himself until he is ready to sit. So before we use the bathroom, we should not expose ourselves fully. We shouldn't have our, to say mildly, put our pants by our ankles. We should, be modest at all times. V'gam az yitzamatzem, and even then he should minimize his exposure. Shalo galus rak ma shemuchrach lo galus, and expose only that which is necessary for him to expose. So as I said before, pants should not be around our ankles. We should only expose what we need to use the facilities. This is when we defecate. Shalo litanet es begadov, so as not to soil his clothing. One must be careful even in the nighttime, just as he behaves during the day. So we figure because the lights are off, it's nighttime, we, people can't see us. No. I mean, most of us today, we have lights. When Mr. Brewer was written, people would use the restroom, in outhouses. They would walk outside their house, or they would, and they would use the restroom over there, by candlelight or whatever it was. Now we have lights, so it's considered to be like it is the daytime. So the same rules apply for day and for night. Because we know that even in the bathroom, we don't speak words of Torah. We don't have Torah thoughts because there's a disgusting smell there. Hashem is everywhere, even in the restroom. Even nifne b'makom megula, one who is relieving himself in the open area, shein sham mechitzas, that has no nearby walls, Chavein sheyehe panav l'doram, should direct himself so that he will be facing south. V'chrov safon o ifcha, and if his back is toward north or vice versa, so he should be facing north or south. Avu bein mizrach l'mar basar. However, to turn his body so his line east to west is users. You're not allowed to do that. We can't face east to west, north to south. The simple reason why is because Mizrach is where we daven, and we don't want to face it the same direction of the Beis HaMikdash. And west also, we're facing it one way, we're facing it another way, from our back or from our front. We shouldn't be doing that. It's not proper to use the facilities that way. Now, when I say we're using facilities, this is defecation. This is, that kind. We should be doing it by a wall so we are covered if we have to do it in public. Nowadays, no one uses the restroom in public for defecation reasons, at least. So it's not really common today. But there are some countries in the world. I know, for example, India. People would just walk down the street and they'll use the facilities out in the open. They'll lift up the rope and they'll just use the facilities. Thank God with today's technology, we don't have that. We have bathrooms everywhere, and you can even stop by, a restaurant if you really have to go and purchase a Coca-Cola and use a restroom over there. So we don't have this problem anymore. But if we're ever camping, or if we are somewhere where there isn't anywhere, if we're in a third world country, if we're in India, whatever, we should find a wall and we should face north or south. If there's a wall nearby, he may relieve himself in any direction. As long as his back is towards the wall. It is permitted to urinate in any direction, even in an open area. So for urination, we can face any direction. That's fine for urination. One should not relieve himself in the presence of any other person. State the obvious, it's gross. And even to do so before idolater is prohibited, it's asar. However, to urinate mutar afilu biyom bifnei Rabbi is permitted even during the day in public, if necessary. So if we really have to go, we can go. Now, one of the most common areas where people do this, when I was in yeshiva in Rochester many years ago, Chavetz Chaim, there was a bar or a couple bars right near the yeshiva. So of course, people 2 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock at night, after they would go to the bar, they would leave and they would find a nearby alleyway and they would relieve themselves. So that is really the case today when people do it in public. But there are cases that, we're traveling long distances and there's no rest stops for 120 miles or whatever it is. And we do have to relieve ourselves. We can pull over the car and we can relieve ourselves in any single direction. We shouldn't feel bashful about it. We just have to remember the rules of washing our hands, that if there is, today we have water bottles. Most people have water bottles in the car. We can just wash our hands with the water bottles. But if we don't have water bottles, it's permitted to wipe your hands on the tree. So, you would wipe your hands normally that you normally do, but you would do it on a tree. Since there was a danger of holding oneself back, we learned this before. Nevertheless, yesh lo has talek litz darim. It's proper to move off to the side whenever possible. So when we do have to, urinate, when we do have to use the facilities in that nature, we should go to a private area doing it. We should not do it in front of people because it's gross. And we should go to an area where there's not a lot of people, an alleyway. If we're in a forest, we should walk off in a distance and do it away from people. We shouldn't do it in just a public place. So if you're in the middle of a mall and there's no restrooms in the mall, don't just, go in front of the Gap and do what you have to do. Try to walk out. And I know, Steve, you're shaking your head, the Gap, but that is what? Yes, Robert.
Is one of the most famous Jews of all times made the statement, sometimes even the President of the United States must have to stand naked.
Okay. All right.
I'm saying we all have to do what we have to do.
Yeah. We all have to do what we have to do. Who said that?
That's Dylan.
Bob Dylan?
Yeah, in the song. Sometimes even the President of the United States must have to stand naked.
His name is Robert Zimmerman, by the way.
What?
Robert Zimmerman. Robert Zimmerman.
From Minnesota, I think?
Yeah, he's from Minnesota.
One of the seed guys here, his father was his uncle, and he used to say how his father once beat up Zimmerman's brother. Zimmerman's father was beat up by his father.
Oh, yeah?
When he was a kid. No.
Well, I know that Bob Dylan's daughter is religious. She's Orthodox, and the son-in-law is Orthodox. Yeah, is Orthodox.
Is his wife Jewish?
I think one of his wives was Jewish, and then he became born again, and then he realized that what's going on.
That was a short period.
That was a short period, and then he realized how dumb it sounds, and then he went back to normal. Okay, that's it for Mishnah Berurah. I apologize to the league for losing by more than 50 points this week. Please subscribe.